What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with the winning Miss Olympia, Samson Dauda, as he shared his full day of eating at 13 weeks out of this upcoming Arnold Classic next year. And let me tell you guys something. So many of these bodybuilders, they will be jealous after looking at the diet, because that's not a lot of food for a guy who weighs 320 pounds and he stays so lean even at the height of his off season. So it is absolute guaranteed that all the other guys who are above that 300 pounds mark, guys like Blessing Avodibu, Regan Grimes, James Hollingshead, even a guy like Nick Walker, they must be eating more than Samson Dauda. And none of these guys are even close to the size and the level of muscularity that Samson Dauda has. Now, I can only recall one guy, Paul Dillett, who is definitely one of the freakiest bodybuilders of all time, and definitely one of the biggest guys of the 90s era. So he is the only one who is rumored to eat way less than what most people would assume he would be eating to maintain that kind of size and that kind of muscle. So no wonder why Samson says he's at a point in his career where 320 pounds, that feels comfortable, and not a single other bodybuilder in the history of this sport they have made this kind of statement before. Because all we heard to get to 300 pounds in the past from all these other guys is that you have to eat so much food up to a point where it is all just force feeding, and that's the thing that makes you so miserable. We heard it from guys like Dennis Wolf, and even Jay Cutler has openly talked about this, and so did Flex Lewis. But I have got to say Samson Dauda is just in a league of his own. He looks so massive at about 12 weeks out of this upcoming Arnold, and more importantly, he seems laser focused to win his second Arnold in March. Now if he's able to accomplish that, it will be a monumental moment, since an Olympia champion is just focused on doing just one show every year. So what did you guys think about Samson's diet? Did it surprise you guys as well that a 320 pounds guy is just eating 5 meals a day, and that too not in that much heavy quantity? So there is that big announcement from Regan Grimes. So he isn't doing this upcoming Arnold, but the New York Pro, that is on his plan. And the fact that Pittsburgh Pro, that is just 1 week before the New York Pro, there is a very high likelihood that Regan is going to do that show as well. So with guys like Martin Fitzwater and Nick Walker also doing this show, this will definitely provide Regan Grimes a great opportunity to stand next to these top guys in the first call out. And Regan is coming in very hot this year because he has been eating extremely well and making all these improvements that are necessary to be in the first call out at the Olympia next year. And that is all what Regan really needs to make it all count. So the expectations this time are gonna be very high, since Regan took 1 more year off in order to get bigger, to put on more muscle, to be massive in all the right areas. And this is most probably gonna be the last time he is gonna sit out of an entire season, because the new guys, they are coming in so damn fast and they're taking away so much hype, and they're also improving at such a fast pace. So Regan also needs to step up his game. Now you can feel that the New York Pro this year, that is gonna have an amazing lineup. Regan Grimes just confirmed, Michael Criso confirmed it a week back, and Rubel Mosquera, if he sticks to his words, he's also gonna be there. So add Nick Walker and Martin in that list, and that is gonna be one of the greatest shows of the year. So very excited to see what Regan and Stefan, his current coach, they can put up together for 2025. So Regan was absolutely ripped at his last show, the Olympia last year. But he is gonna be looking to bring his all-time best next year, because in order to be top 6, he just cannot afford to miss his mark at all. Next up, we have the physique update from Nitin Diesha. And I'm sure even before posting this update, he already knew what kind of bubblegum comments they're gonna be coming his way. So he already addressed that in his caption. And yes, I get it, his obliques are looking kinda wide here. But the fact is, this is his off season. And that is how it has always been for Nitin. Not every bodybuilder on earth can stay shredded. Like for instance, a guy like Derek Lunsford all year round and still make gains. This is what Nitin has done all his life in the off season, and this has worked pretty damn well for him so far. After all, no current IFBB pro has more pro wins than Nitin himself in the men's open class. Now some of us were kinda hoping that Nitin's name that might come up in this upcoming Arnold Ohio list, but that seems like it won't be the case. And if he already knows that he has no chance of placing top 2 at this upcoming Arnold, with guys like Samson Dauda and Andrew Jagan there, he sees no point doing that show either. So Nathan already said that he is gonna be coming back to do Dubai Pro next year and some other shows as well. But the fans who wanted to see him compete at the Olympia stage, sadly that won't be happening ever again. And that is kinda unfortunate because Nathan was able to beat William Bonac pretty convincingly at Portugal Pro earlier this year. So going by that metric, Nathan could have placed as high as top 7 at this past Miss Olympia. So it is very rare to see hotel room posing updates from the Persian wolf Hadi Challenge just one day out of Miss Olympia. But here we have one. So after looking at this video, one can only imagine how amazing Hadi Challenge would have looked in person because the picture or video of him that is able to capture that grainy conditioning, that sheer density and the muscularity that Hadi Challenge brings to the stage every single time. So the problem with both Hadi and Derek is that they are now chasing a mass monster who is 6 feet tall and he has great symmetry as well, amazing aesthetic. So it is always hard to beat a bigger guy as well as a taller guy. But that being said, it is not just over for Hadi Challenge because the same people were commenting that Samson is just way too big for him. Those people were also saying that Hadi's waist is just way too wide after last year's Miss Olympia, and he did nothing but slam the door shut at the Arnold, Ohio earlier this year. And keep in mind, this wasn't the best Hadi Challenge that got beat by Samson Dauda at this year's Miss Olympia. Hadi looked amazing, there is no doubt, but he did not have that crazy fit in the side shorts, and his legs were looking kinda downsized. But with him giving his body much needed rest and a break, a real battle awaits in 2025 at the Olympia next year. A lot of people are sleeping on Terrence Sofin, and I get it. He hasn't competed in a while. Now he himself as well as his coach, they are both really confident that 2025, that is gonna be the year. Terrence is gonna fight for Classic Physique Miss Olympia title, and he is gonna win that as well. And I have got to say he has a very realistic shot at Classic Physique Miss Olympia next year. He has already won 2 Arnolds. He holds the record of most classic wins. So there is just one more title, and that is the Olympia. So with Chris Bumstead dominating this division for the last 6 years, whoever wins that title next year, that is gonna be the 4th only man in the last 10 years to hold that Miss Olympia title. And Terrence has a great chance at it because unlike all these other guys, like Ramon, Ors, who are already maxed out, and they have absolutely no room to grow, Terrence had almost 15 pounds of room to fill out his frame, if we go by his height, and that is from his last Miss Olympia in 2023. So with Mike Sommerfeld being the 2nd place at this past Miss Olympia and giving C-Bomb a serious run for his money, and Mike has great arms, Terrence will be looking to bring up his arms. In fact, he has been focusing on this particular area for many years now, as this was his biggest weakness. Now if Breon switches over to the 212 class this year, Terrence is gonna be the only guy in the Olympia lineup next year who was also a competitor in 2016 when Classic was first introduced. So cannot wait to see him at Detroit Pro this year, as that is most likely gonna be his first show of the year. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.